Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. See, that's a saying. It goes like this. By the time truth travels around the world once, a lie travels around the world, 10,000 times. And that's true, but eventually the truth will reach the destination, will go around the world for everybody to hear if they want to hear it. So what am I talking about? Do you remember when, and I'm pretty sure you remember, when the Russian invasion, unprovoked and unjustifiable aggression, invasion of Ukraine was as described as such? Aggression, unprovoked, unjustifiable, so you can't justify it. Remember? Now they change. Now Rubio, the Secretary of State of the United States of America, showed up and said, you know what? Russia's military operation in Ukraine is a proxy war between Russia and United States of America. So what does that mean? Well, the Russians come and say, yes, Rubio, thank you very much, it's true. The problem is this. I guarantee you that Rubio and Peskov in this case, or he's the spokesperson, they view it as such, but from different sources. The actors are different. I guarantee you the Americans will say the Russians got into Ukraine, but we had to react. Therefore, now we are in a proxy war. And the Russian version of the proxy war is this. No. NATO came into Ukraine next to our borders, so we had to react. You see, they will have a different originator of the proxy war. I mean, I don't think the Americans will say, well, the Russians reacted to our invasion, or I don't think Rubio is ready for that kind of truth. So let's read the 4 articles we have here. Ukrainska Pravda. This is from March 6, 2025. US State Secretary calls Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, quote-unquote, proxy war between US and Russia, end quote. This is according to the Ukrainians. I have 2 Ukrainian media outlets. I have 2 articles from the Ukrainians, 2 articles from the Russians. So let's see what Rubio says. I don't know why this is painted like that, but nevertheless. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has claimed that Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine is in fact a proxy war between the US and Russia. Well, didn't we know that? We knew that, but 3 years the paid mass media, the media operatives and their jackals, their experts and analysts used to tell us otherwise. And I'm quoting Rubio, frankly, it's a proxy war between nuclear powers, the United States helping Ukraine and Russia. And it needs to come to an end. So you see, the originator is Russia. They just help what's right, which is Ukraine. However, according to Rubio, and I'm quoting, no one has any idea or any plan to bring it to an end. I think there are plans. So, what's going on? Next one. Let's see how the Russians react to this one. Again, Ukrainska Pravda, Thursday, March 6, 2025. Kremlin agrees with US State Secretary's remarks on proxy war between Russia and US. Russia has said it agrees with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio's claim that Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine is a proxy war between the United States and Russia. So let's see what this guy says. And I'm quoting Peskov. We can and want to agree with this. And we do agree. That is the case. We have repeatedly stated this. We have said that this is in fact a conflict between Russia and the collective West. And the United States is the main country of the collective West. Why? Peskov also added that Kremlin agrees that it is time to stop this conflict and this war. So what does it mean? So the collective West, they claim all the time, tries to get closer and destroy Russia. Next one, Russia Today. Ukraine conflict, a Russia-US proxy war, Rubio. So the same is in contrast, the US Secretary of State has said, the US Secretary of State has said that in contrast to the previous administration, President Donald Trump wants to be a peacemaker and end the hostilities. All right, so that's the way it's been very clear from the beginning. Let's see what Kremlin says, according to the Russians. Kremlin agrees with Washington's assessment of Ukraine. Okay, we got that one, but let's see who started it. Paparaka Tsakapaka, Parababa, Peskov told journalists, it fully agrees, is absolutely in line with the position that Russian President and Foreign Minister have repeatedly expressed. Moscow has on multiple occasions characterized the hostilities in Ukraine as Western proxy war against Russia, in which Ukrainians are being used as cannon fodder. That's what it is, I think. Russian officials have argued that Washington intentionally escalated tensions by disregarding Moscow's security concerns over NATO expansion in Eastern Europe and its growing military cooperation with Ukraine. You got it? So that is exactly what I've been yapping here for 3 years at least, which is, it all started in 1991, when the Americans promised gentleman agreement by James Baker, then the Secretary of State of the United States of America, American Secretary of State, not Blinkenstein. So he said, if you, Soviet Union / Russia, agree with the unification of Germany, if you agree, that means they could not agree. That means nothing would happen. If you agree with the unification, then we, NATO, will not expand 1 inch eastward towards Russia. And the evil communists said, okay. And what happened? Well, you know exactly what happened. And then they said, well, did you sign anything? Do you and your neighbor, or let's say your wife or your brother, your sister, when he promises you that, well, I'm going to be at your house at noon for, let's say, celebrate something or help you something, and then he doesn't show up. And then you say, hey, you said you're going to show up. And he says, do you have it in writing? What does that mean? Your relationship dropped to an asshole relationship right there. So you're not a gentleman. So in this case, that's how it happened. I don't have to go over all the what happened with the expansion of NATO next to the Russian borders. And then in 2021, the evil Russians said, guys, you are next, right here in front of us. You bring military infrastructure, you bring CIA, you bring everything you need here to prepare for war. Against whom, I wonder? Remember, Ukraine, according to 1994 Budapest Memorandum, used to be a neutral country, but you screwed that up. Why? In 2014, when you helped traitors overthrow a legitimate democratic government of Viktor Yanukovych in Ukraine. So you turned the 1994 agreement into not a neutral state, but your satellite. You want NATO. You want Ukraine to be part of NATO. Remember 2008 Bucharest NATO summit? George W. Bush said that one day NATO and Georgia will join NATO. What? I thought they were neutral. Nah, we changed our mind. No, we're not gentlemen anymore. Have you ever been? So anyway, that's how it started. And then you bring infrastructure over there, and the Russian says in 2021, let's talk. Let's solve it. Let's discuss it. It's a war over there in Donbass. You overthrew the government. Those guys did what they did with the ethnic Russians in East Ukraine. Let's stop. Let's do something. No, we don't want to. We're not going to talk to you. Who the hell are you? You're Yeltsin. And Putin said, really? I'm going to show you. And he showed. And after 3 years of war, the proxy war, this guy said, you know what? We're kind of not winning. So let's go through the back door. I think these guys will try to go in Russia through the back door. The front door was, we're going to fuck you up in the military. We're going to destroy you. They didn't succeed. They will try probably to come and be friendly. Maybe you're going to allow our NGOs to go back. Maybe you're going to allow Soros to go back, and so on. This is the back door. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Proxy war, we all knew. I mean, who didn't is an imbecile. And there are people who knew but ignored it. You know, like ostriches, head in the sand. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.